Nuno out and Conte in at Spurs. Xavi names 4 must-buy players for Barcelona. Was Ramos to PSG a mistake? And a transfer roundup all coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host, Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. So with Nuno Espirito Santo out of the door at Spurs after just 17 games in charge, it seems like his replacement is already ready and waiting in Antonio Conte. Now, although at the time of filming he hasn't been officially confirmed as the next manager, all roads seem to be heading in that direction. And according to Fabrizio Romano, he has already signed a contract of 18 months. And according to numerous reports, he will be confirmed today and will be actually taking training this afternoon. Now, of course, Conte was linked with the Spurs job back in the summer. However, talks did break down, and Spurs fans, you apparently have your managing director of football, Fabio Paratici, to thank for Conte basically reconsidering the job, as the two do know each other well, as they did work together at Juventus. The thing is with Conte, he's a brilliant manager and he already boasts a CV that has Premier League success. He is a serial winner and an astute tactician. It's easy to see why Spurs were so keen on bringing him in. Let's face it, things at the moment are not great for Spurs. Their squad seem a little bit out of form. Of course, they have a star player that reportedly wanted to leave in the summer. There have been some reports of perhaps a lack of investment, so it definitely won't be a walk in the park for Conte. Why has Conte decided to take the job now instead of in the summer? There has been a lot of speculation from the media about perhaps the terms have changed, as there are now reports that maybe Spurs are allowing Conte to spend a little bit more money, perhaps, as there are already reports in Italy that Conte has asked Daniel Levy for over £200 million in order to bring in about 6 Serie A players, with 2 of them being rumoured to be Matthijs de Ligt and Federico Chiesa from Juventus. And the reason why everybody is speculating as to whether Conte has been given the green light to perhaps bring in some new players maybe in January or in the summer is because we have seen him walk away from clubs before because of issues with finances and players. However, believe it or not everything is about money, and perhaps Conte simply looks at this squad of players that's not a bad squad of players, I must add, and believes that he can get the best out of them, as of course previously we have seen this manager work with squads of players that maybe aren't at their best but still get some good games out of them. Of course, if you cast your minds back to when he was the Italy manager and he took them to the European Championships in 2016. It wasn't the best team, and there was a lot of criticism about his tactics, team selections of course, as he controversially left out Andrea Pirlo. Marco Verratti was injured as well. However, although they did bow out to Germany in the quarterfinals, they did still manage to beat Spain, that were the current reigning champions of the Euros at the time, and they did manage to finish top of their group. So like I say, that in itself is proof alone that although he may not have the best squad of players that he would truly like to have, I think that he can still get some goodness out of this Spurs team. One thing is for certain, bringing in a name like Conte is a big statement from the club, especially for the fans who were seemingly very frustrated with the game at the weekend. And here's hoping that Spurs can get back to their best, competing in the top 4, competing in the Champions League, and let's hope that Conte is the man to bring them that. Now, according to reports, it seems like only a matter of time really before we will see Barcelona legend Xavi back at the club as their next manager. However, according to AS, his current club Al Sadd have given Barcelona a little bit of an ultimatum. If they want this process to run smoothly, they have to come to Doha and speak to the club face to face. Reportedly, this is a respect thing. They want to feel respected by Barcelona and want to meet Joan Laporta face to face. And what this means is that he will probably be heading to Doha on Thursday to start discussions. And according to El Nacional, the manager has already stated 4 must-buy players for Barcelona. One of them is actually Paul Pogba. Now, I know that he's been linked with Real Madrid quite a lot, but apparently Barcelona are very much interested in him. Now, of course, the 28-year-old will probably be leaving Manchester United in the summer on a free, unless Manchester United win the Premier League or the Champions League, neither of which I can see happening anytime soon. Therefore, this could potentially make sense for Barcelona, as of course he would be on a free. But like I say, Real Madrid are interested. PSG have reportedly become the favourites to get the player, so I'm not too sure if they'll be able to get that deal over the line. However, they do have a good relationship with his agent Mino Raiola, and they believe that this could help them. And of course, if you're talking about Mino Raiola, then Erling Haaland has to come into the equation as well, as he is reportedly Xavi's #1 top priority. However, they will have to pay this reported release clause of about 75 million euros plus add-ons. So again, it will depend on Barcelona's financial situation. And at the end of the day, they'll probably have to get in line, as let's face it, every big club across Europe will be interested in Haaland in the summer. Now, one homegrown talent that Xavi would reportedly like to see back at the club is Dani Olmo. Now, he has been linked with Barcelona before, and reportedly Xavi believes that he would give them another option when it comes to going forward. Now, whether this would be a loan deal in January or a permanent signing does remain to be seen. And of course, the final player, the 4th player, is actually a defender, and it's Jules Koundé. Of course, he's been linked with Chelsea, he's been linked with Manchester United, but Sevilla are not going to give him up without a fight, and they reportedly want about 80 million euros for the player. So again, this one would definitely depend on Barcelona's financial situation. Now, whether these signings actually happen or not remains to be seen. Like I say, I'm not too sure if Barcelona will actually be signing the likes of Erling Haaland. However, these kind of signings that Xavi allegedly wants do show ambition, and for Barcelona fans, it's definitely something that they can get excited for should Xavi officially arrive as their manager. Now, this story I did mention briefly on yesterday's Daily News, and it's all about Sergio Ramos and whether his move to PSG was actually a mistake. According to Le Parisien, the club are contemplating rescinding the Spaniard's contract with the side, with the newspaper stating that the club have perhaps jumped the gun in bringing in the veteran and that they have maybe made a mistake in signing him. Not the kind of thing you want to hear if you are Ramos. Of course, before the arrival of Lionel Messi at the club, you could argue that Sergio Ramos was their marquee signing. Such a big name from a big club like Real Madrid, it was actually a bit of a shock when he did depart from Madrid. And whilst PSG are not prioritising a contract termination, it's not completely out of the question, especially when you consider that Ramos has actually only played in 4 competitive games so far in this calendar year. The main issue here, Ramos is injured. I mean, I'm not too sure what he can actually do about that. It's not entirely his fault at the end of the day. He has this ongoing muscular problem that has stopped him from playing competitive football since early May now. And although he was set to return to full training with the full PSG squad this week, no concrete date has actually been set regarding his official return. And reportedly, PSG are growing a little bit frustrated by this. And of course, this has cast a little bit of a cloud over his move to the club. Now, his deal runs until the summer of 2023, so should PSG actually terminate his contract, they would have to come to an arrangement with the player directly. Now, the club themselves to the media have always been quite optimistic, and they do actually confirm that they did know about this injury. They've always known that he's had this injury. However, it seems like the media and fans are getting a little bit tired of things now and are getting a little bit fed up, with L'Équipe actually poking a bit of fun at Ramos recently. Now, if Ramos regains his fitness and if he manages to be consistent and to be playing football for PSG probably towards the latter half of this season, then I'm pretty sure that they will keep him at the club, as despite being 35 years of age, he is still a very talented defender. However, if he still has these injury issues and it is ongoing, then maybe we could see him departing sooner than we think. And now we've got our transfer roundup. This is where I take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. And first up, Sergio Aguero's luck is not getting any better, as Barcelona have announced that after, of course, he was injured earlier on in the season, Aguero will now be ruled out for at least 3 months, as of course over the weekend he suffered with chest pains and has had to have cardiological exams at the hospital. Regarding the Newcastle United managerial position, there were some reports that Unai Emery, the Villarreal manager, was the latest leading contender. However, the manager himself has come out and said that he doesn't actually know where all this speculation has come from. According to El Nacional, Liverpool, Arsenal, AC Milan, Juventus and Borussia Dortmund have all made offers to Real Madrid to sign Marco Asensio in January, with Dortmund emerging as the favourites to bring in the player. And speaking of Juventus there, reportedly they may have to offload the likes of Weston McKennie and Aaron Ramsey in order to make way for potential signings such as Dusan Vlahovic and Axel Witsel. So that's it for today's OneFootball Daily News. As always, thanks for watching. Check out all the other content, and until next time, I will see you all later.